It's Hartley Logic here with Ultradent Products, and I am meeting with Miss Shannon Pace Brinker today, dental assistant. Say hello.
Hi, everyone. How is everybody?
I'm hoping everybody's doing good. We're now on March, the 800th day of March, actually. Let's be real, with everything that's going on. Miss Shannon is here to talk to us about what about the dental assistants? What are we doing right now? What's going on? What advice do you have?
Yeah, I tell you, I never realized how amazing, first of all, the dental assistant. I mean, I knew we were amazing because I'm a dental assistant now for 30 something years, but it feels like forever. But what is, I think, the best part right now with when you think about social media and being able to stay connected with so many people at one time is, being there for each other and most importantly, lifting each other up, having someone to vent to. And most importantly, I think just knowing at the end of the day, there's somebody else that you can talk to about the things that might be bothering you. And, but it has been such an eye opener for me, I think, to just know so many people out there just in the trenches, working in practices still, and just hearing some of their thoughts on things. It's scary, but most importantly, I think at the end of the day, we got to be there for each other. And so that's why I'm so excited about this webinar today.
Yeah, definitely. We're a team. You need every person in the office to make your office flow. You need your doctor, you need your assistant, you need your hygienist, you need your front office. Everybody has to work together for your office to flow.
I agree. I will say that that's one of the things I know you and I were talking about before we went live today was just this, just looking at, I think for us, the issues with, all the team members and the dental assistants and what we're hearing from them right now is again, another piece of just have that conversation today.
Okay, so you meet with a lot of dental assistants. What are you hearing from them right now?
Yeah, I'm hearing, a lot about, well, I think several things. The first thing is I'm hearing from them that a lot of practices are still open and they know that they should not be seeing patients except for emergencies. And I have to say that's probably one of the things that right now scares me the most. Is hearing from dental assistants who are single moms, who are the breadwinner for the family, who are feeling that they can't really say no to the doctor about not coming in and seeing patients. And I understand seeing patients for emergencies, but even just this morning, having a dental assistant reach out to me to say, listen, Shannon, we're still doing cleanings, we're still doing fillings, we're still doing so many things. What do I do right now? And being scared to lose their job if they say they're not coming in. And that to me is scary. That's what I think is probably something that, we need to really try to help each other to understand that we all have to do our part to stay out of that practice and to not go in to do the things that are not necessary right now. And so I'm sure you've heard some of that as well. It's like they don't know what to do. To have that with the doctor, have that conversation, so it's tough.
And it's a hard time because they're your superior, but yet you want to make sure you're following legal legislation, whichever it is with that state. Every state, like we've talked about in multiple other videos, every state is different. And being able to talk to your doctor and even speaking your truth and saying, I don't feel safe doing more than just emergencies, but I don't want to lose my job. And a lot of these doctors, they are also in fear mode. They're also like, we got to get these patients in. I can't close these doors. So what can assistants do during this time, except for speak their truth? Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I've got a lot of assistants that are like, listen, how can I still, help the practice and know that I'm being ready for when we go back, because we all know we are going to go back. And that's one of the things we know we're going back. So it's like, how can we be counterproductive if you are at home? I know there are some offices that are allowing the assistants to go in and clean the office and just, reorganizing things, going through the supplies. That's something that we actually have a module on our website that I would extend to our viewers today where it really shows you how to go in and do almost like spring cleaning, because if there's anything that we know, we're going back. So it's involved. And some of these assistants are like, listen, you think my doctor would go for it? And I said, well, if you think about being, and I told my own team, if you're being productive and you're going to help us with cleaning things out, looking for expired items, organizing, instruments and thinking about, all the supplies that we do have. And I think that's a way for us to, again, stay, productive, but most importantly, have everything clean, because we know when we go back, patients are going to be looking at us with triple magnification on, right? So the last thing we want to do is not look at that flow in the sterilization room or that flow of instruments. And when I open my drawer, they're going to be sizing us up more than they ever were before. Everybody's talking about PPE, but you better be looking at your practice. And one of the things that we do, and anytime we're going into offices and helping them with supplies and organizing things, is we take a video from the time they walk in the door. What are the things that we looked at that maybe we never saw? That wire, we didn't see this plant, it's got dust on it. How can we talk about all these? When you think about money right now, and not just saying this because it's Ultradent, but think about the bleaching. How can we have people write us checks for money that we don't have to worry about insurance? It's instant cash flow. It's something that we can keep the practice right away, surviving. And I think that's something people are not looking at is quick cash, syringes, toothpaste, anything that we can do. And that's what we did. We sat down, we said, where can we make some money? So when we're ready to come back, not just on clinical procedures, like grab and go, no pun intended, the whitening syringes, we have to be really counterproductive and productive with I think that piece. That's one area. And then I have a lot of assistants that are also saying, doing the social media postings. Most assistants in the practice are doing that, right? I think that's where they could really use your expertise, is having that content for their patients to keep the patients engaged. Say, listen, we're still here for you. We haven't, even though we're not seeing you on a day-to-day basis, face to face, we can still see you through our Facebook, our Instagram. I think that could be a huge plus, even for Ultradent, to offer some of those tips.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of, we have our opalescence account. And something funny, when I started at Ultradent, I went through flossing and I said, hey, how do you floss? I just asked some of my team members, and it was kind of interesting to find out that truthfully, not a lot of people pass that flossing test. So even going on and doing a Facebook Live like this, or if that's a little too intimidating for you, because being live can be, kind of nerve-wracking sometimes, pop on, video yourself, show them how to floss, show them how to brush, and you're educating your patients who truthfully don't really have a lot to do along with you, because everybody's supposed to be staying home,
I think it's a great idea. And even talking about bleaching, talking about fluoride, talking about all the things that they have no clue about, and not just cutesy wootsy little, photos and things like that. And don't get me wrong, we all use those, and I do too. But I think this information, the Facebook Live, people open up, they're looking at videos. You want to keep people engaged. But I think that's where we really and truly have to look at our patients. And the other side of this that I was having a call last week with Steve is, who's head of your, director of sales, is I said, Steve, we need help with these patients who can't come in and see us right now. Like with, when they're still in provisionals, they're still in a temp, is if it's something that maybe they had surgery, my doctor puts patients in long-term provisionals. Can we put together a emergency kit with, the temporary cement and those types of things? I think those are the things that we really need to be thinking about for those patients, and just checking in on them. And even aligner therapy, aligner therapy teach a lot of Invisalign courses. It's not an emergency, but we still want to keep them engaged and making sure they're not forgetting what we told them on home care instructions. There's a lot we could be doing, I think, from our own homes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And with virtual dentistry, okay, take a look at their aligners. All right, we're going to mail you your trays so you can kind of stay on track, at least for that group. Obviously, opalescence whitening is the best whitening on the market. So even offering all those people who are staying home to do extra self-care, here are these Go trays. Put them in. It's going to be super fast. Oh, you already have whitening trays. Here's some gel to kind of help you out. It's an activity for people to do at home as well. And it's still providing that patient education and helping them with their wider smile. And that's our goal is confidence.
Absolutely. Because people are not going to stop. They may stop doing crown preps or do veneers or elective dentistry, but they're not going to stop bleaching their teeth. I mean, they're going to continue to do those things. And I think that's probably one of the best things we could do right now is be thinking about what's going to happen when you go back and how can you make money now? Because again, we know that, people spend millions of dollars on bleaching every year. We have to really go and make a list, and still, even if you're at home, the doctor's at home and you're at home with your team, hey guys, let's check in with each other once a week. Let's put these ideas together so we can, again, be ready, or even doing things now. I think you could have two lists of what can we do now and what can we do when we first come back.
Right. And you can even do it on your personal page. So say that you're doing it on your dental page, put it on your personal page. If you're a dental assistant and you want to talk to your family about whitening and they want to buy whitening, talk about it on your personal page and then let them know where they can get it. They can get it from you. This way you're helping your office still grow and it's not at a complete standstill.
I so agree with you. I think, again, we think that we're, it's doomsday. And don't get me wrong, there's so many people that we're hearing so many just stories. But if we don't keep that momentum going and give, I think, hope, that's where when you get all these people together that all feel like, oh my gosh, this is the end all be all, and we're going to go under. It's like, okay, now's the time for somebody in that group to lift your team up. It might not always be the doctor, to say, listen, guys, okay, we need plans, because the one thing in dentistry is we need plans, we need checklists, we need those things. How can we put a plan together? And really be, again, productive. And that's where, you're only as good as your mindset. And if we can change that mindset, I think we can all still stay in business, because at the end of the day, it is a business, so I love those ideas. I think it's really important to share.
You can provide a little bit of certainty in an uncertain world right now. I know that we had just talked about, I thought Oregon's dental offices were opening on June 15th, which seemed to be the furthest extended one. And now we know that those offices aren't opening till September 20th. You guys, this is paralyzing. If you're in Oregon, please drop a comment. Let us know how we can help and support you by giving you ideas. Please always feel free to DM Ultradent Products. You're going to be talking to me, and I will give you any advice that you need of how to do something on social media. If you want to share any of our videos or just anything, reach out to me. My name's Hartley. Direct message us on Ultradent Products. Send your assistants, send your hygienists. Let's just make sure we're staying involved, we're staying invested in everything, and we're helping out our patients, because that's why we all went into dentistry.
That's right. No, I agree. We're making a list, and I told you that I will definitely share this on the Ultradent page of just every state and just knowing, when they're saying right now, because this is going to change, but if we make it in a spreadsheet, we can, update it and add to it. Yeah. It is amazing when we're seeing June, like here in Virginia, it's June the 10th, April the 30th, September the 20th, May the 1st. And I was just looking, and of course, Oregon is it said June the 15th, but it's just crazy right now when we look, and it's not, it's way past that now. And that's when the rubber is going to really meet the road, is how can we keep these practices open? And one of the things that I will say is, as a dental assistant, we sit with a doctor knee to knee all day long. And if we can share with our assistants and doctors that, listen, we care about you, we are a team, we work together, what can we do to help each other? I think right now, if there's anything that we could talk about is, with the partnership, and most importantly, looking at how can we help our practice stay open. It is really up to us to all have that voice. And so, I think that's important. And I think we had a couple of questions here too for some of the out there.
Read it, or do you want me to read it? It's up to you.
Go ahead.
Okay. So it looks like Chitra Durgam. Hi, Chitra. She asks, is there any info anywhere regarding new guidelines dental assistants need to follow in the office post COVID-19?
Yeah, well, I would tell you that it's ironic that this morning I was having a call with one of my really good friends who is a hygienist and does a lot of laser dentistry and teaches a lot of laser dentistry, and I know she is the PPE expert. I mean that, and so we were just talking about, the mask everybody knows, but the shields. And what is scary is even seeing some of these posts where these level 1 masks, not even like the mask, not even level 3, level 1. It's like, oh my gosh, you cannot use that. Looking at, retractors and rubber dam. I just did a webinar on Friday on rubber dam placement, and we ended up having about, when we first launched it, it was like, people are not going to do this. And then when we shot the video out, we already have close to 1,000 views just on place rubber dam, because only 5% of the population place rubber dam. Nobody places rubber dam.
That's why Exactly.
It's crazy because we don't want to do it. We don't have the time. We're rushing. But most importantly, we're not even trained, half of us, on how to place it right, So I think that is huge. But looking at, all these changes, absolutely, the gowns, the uniforms. One of my team members who I absolutely love, and I got to give him a shout out, he had developed his own scrubs. He's a dental assistant. He's one of my lead trainers. His name is John Ocasio. And he invented what's called the Casio dental scrubs. And a lot of team members were saying, John, this is kind of warm because it's thick and all these other things. And he was like, Shannon, he was so discouraged because he just felt like people were not giving him a chance with his uniforms. But the beauty of the uniform is it repels, nothing sticks to it, nothing stains it, but it is really made for infection control. I mean, it is a double lining uniform. And so I got to give him a shout out. And now everybody is calling him for these uniforms. They're like, we need these uniforms. And I was like, John, sometimes things happen. You got to look at the silver lining. This is made for you, but his uniforms are amazing. Looking at the shields, the Opti shields with the headset, with the, with the shield coming down. No assistants wear those. I know hygienists wear those, but we put them on. We're like, it makes my head hurt. It gives me a headache. I'm not wearing that thing. We're wearing the really.
You're blind. You're like, hold on, I gotta wipe off this spray.
We're like, we ain't using that thing. We can't even see it's coming. I can't tell people, say, hey, where can I get that shield? Where can I get that shield? It's going to change our lives. Everything we do, looking at each other, how we don our gloves, all of that is changed so much. But most importantly, carrying instruments back and forth, that was already changed by OSAP. How we carry our instruments back and forth. We really now need to be taking all of this CE on infection control, but most importantly, knowing we have to order the right mask. We have to have the right uniforms, the scrubs, having those, removing them, taking them off before you go home for those that are still going in for emergency. I know, like with John, he was telling me after every patient he has another set of scrubs. He takes them off after every patient right now. So we can put together a little list, and I'll drop that over, of just 10 things that we know are just detrimental to the assistant right now and those that are still seeing patients. It's really important for them to know that.
And we know, just as Ultradent, we know that not every office is closed down, but we also know that a lot of offices are closed down. So if you are closed down, we are thinking about you and we're here for you. And those who are open, let's make sure that we're keeping ourselves safe, because you are important and your patients are going to need you when all of this is over, because it is going to end. So let's talk about some bright side stuff. We kind of went through a lot of positivity, but we went through a lot of the woes. This is what's happening right now. So we talked about PPE and dental assistants. This is perfect time to do some CE training or some just educational training in general.
I agree. We built a learning platform called the Academy of Chairside Assisting, and it is a platform really to go and really focus. And I separate them into different areas of personal protective equipment. We also have a module that is just on the virus itself, and downloads and checklists and all kinds of those. What can we give to our patients, the letters, keeping them up to date on the things that are happening in your practice. But most importantly, having education is so important right now. That's why we partner with Ultradent, because we know they have amazing education, but looking to better yourself, because nobody's going to invest more than you investing in yourself. And so we can't sit back, and wait.
And you got a lot of time on your hands now. So invest in yourself, invest in your future. You're going to be able to benefit so many people in your office, your doctor, your front office, your hygienist, and your patients by investing in yourself and learning more and being more educated. Shannon, it looks like we have another question. And it says, Shannon, do you recommend promoting whitening to your office now? Will they feel offended or feel like we are trying to sell them in a shutdown market?
No, I think you got to come across as you're being asked, right? Let's be honest, because if you come off and you say, hey, by the way, we're running a whitening special, of course, right? Because there's no special, right? But what can you do? I think to be home, I think you got to start off with, for those of you that are still in provisionals, please reach out to us so we can get you in. That is considered an emergency if you're hurting, or if you're still in the provisional stage. We don't want to go forever. But we do want to look at when can we get that scheduled. But in the meantime, if you need us, we've got this cement kit that we can provide for you, yada, yada, with the bleaching, looking at those people that are at home and looking at all the products that you could talk about, the opalescence toothpaste, for those that are at home. Because one of the things we know right now, we're at home and we are eating, listen, I got TH, we're self-inflicting everything. What's the most important thing we're forgetting about right now? Dentistry, right? So I think it's all how you go about it. And the one thing I will say about Ultradent is you guys have the best marketing. There is no company that even competes with that. You give me photos and images and those things. So really encourage, I think, the team to go to your website to get those pieces right now, because marketing is so important to give me the content to be able to post. But I feel like it's all about how you go about it. If you can say, listen, we've had a lot of patients, I'm gonna do just like this. We've had a lot of patients that have reached out to us about, especially those that know they're doing bleaching and they're out of bleach. How can they still get this? Because they know they're not going to see us. When we look at Oregon, it's September. What if I'm in the middle of whitening and I'm out? This is where you really can do an amazing service, for your patients. I feel like taking a service route. We want to be there for you if you need us. Instant message us or reach out or email us, whatever. One of the things that I'm working with that I was going to mention with Weave, and Mike Buckner, I got to give him a shout out. We're buds and it lives in Utah. We're working right now. I know it's like, I love Mike. And we were just talking about utilizing your information, whatever you're using to engage your patients in your practice, putting things like this together to say, hey, listen, we're thinking about you. We care about you. They have the two-way texting, now with patients through your software. You can sit at home and do that and say, listen, I thought about you today, and I know we had you on the schedule to have you come in. I want to see how you're doing. I think we're just not thinking about those areas. And I think with the toothpaste, the whitening, giving them those types of things, those are the things I still care about my health. I still care about my teeth. And I think that's where you have to come across as you're there to help them if they need you, not like a seller, because again, that's not the way we want to come across. But being there and saying, listen, if for those of you right now that are doing bleaching, we want to make sure, because I've gotten all these phone calls or I've gotten all these messages about what do I do because I ran out of bleach. Let us know that we still can get that to your practice, to your home, not your practice, still can get that to your office or whatever. So I think those are the things that, again, is a way for us to still make money, but still keep money.
Yep, I agree. And, Gail, just to answer a little bit more, will it offend anybody? It might. It might offend one or two people, but the majority of your people are going to be okay. And those majority are the ones that you're like, you know what, here's the positive side. Here is some whitening. Here's how to help your mental health right now, because we're talking a lot about physical health. We're all stressed out. There's a lot of stress, a lot of uncertainty like we talked about before. And you know what? Little things like whitening your teeth can seriously change your personality,
Absolutely. And I think, again, making people feel like you are caring about them, because one of the things we know in dentistry is it's out of sight, out of mind. Do you really care about me? What's going to keep those patients engaged? And that's one of the things that Mike and I talked about. I said, listen, I can log into my Weave account and I can still text my patients, hey, I know that we're not seeing you, and I saw where you originally were on the schedule for today. And I just wanted you to know that we were thinking about you. That is the whole Dan Fisher mentality, of we care about you and we're thinking about you. And when patients hear that, you want to talk about loyalty. You were thinking about me. Well, I was thinking about the other 20 people that were on the schedule too. They don't need to know that, but they feel like you do care about them. And I do. Listen, at the end of the day, we're not in dentistry to get rich. We're in dentistry because we care about people.
Yep.
So you do that and think about all these other components that go with it. When you go back to work and go back to your practice, those people will remember these things. They remember you reached out to me and said, hey, I just want to check on you and your family. Make sure you're okay. That is what dentistry is about, or we wouldn't be in it, right? So I think that it all goes hand in hand. And again, everything we say is how we say it. So that's what you could do, right? That's what you do best right now, right? You're the expert on social media. Is what are some of the verbiage, what are some of the things we could put together to help those practices who are worried that they might come across as a salesman? I think that's really something that we could help you with now.
Yeah, that's true. And I always have loved this quote, and it's, people will remember how you made them feel.
That's right.
Just by reaching out and saying, I'm thinking about you, you were supposed to be in our office this week, is going to help patients realize you're authentic and you care about them, and they're not patient number 1,455. You know what I mean?
I do agree.
Yeah. And when you're talking to your patients about whitening, you don't have to say, I want to sell this to you. All you can say is, you know what? We understand that right now there's a lot of uncertainty, and maybe you do a promotional deal and you say, we can mail this to your house. We just want to let you know that we're still here. We can offer some whitening. Here's how whitening actually works. And you educate them on how it actually works. And you talk to them like you would talk to your friend. You're not going to talk to your friend and be like, oh, you really like your teeth are like, they're like a D4, you know? You're like, oh, your smile is an A1, but guess what? If you wanted to, you could whiten just a little bit wider. So if you want to try it, let's do this, you know?
I agree. I think again, we're just not thinking outside the box, you know, and just having those patients where if you're constantly doing it, like you don't want to do a one and done, you want to think about a layout. Okay, well, today I'm going to do this. Wednesday, I'm going to have a calendar. Thursday or Friday, I'm going to do this. And splitting up that calendar, you know, I mean, all the team members in a practice are at home. So how can we split up these patients and get to them as a team? Hey, what do you feel comfortable talking about? What do you feel comfortable talking about? Because again, if it's a total team effort, we've got all cell phones. All of us have that.
Yeah,
we can really and truly think of some things that could have that memory of when we go back, because you know, when we go back, that's where we're going to look at who's going to stay with us and who might go to somebody else down the street. And if you want to keep those patients in your practice coming back to see you, they're going to remember that you stayed engaged with them. And did you really care about me while we were out? Especially for Oregon, for months. Oh my gosh, you know, how can we do that? That's a must. You know, that's not something that we cannot not do, is stay connected with those patients. So.
Yeah. I agree 100%. And, you know, I think about perio, how we're supposed to see them every 3 months, and you're not going to be able to see them for 6 months. Even reaching out and saying, hey, just checking in on you. You know what? I have a question for you. Did you floss today? You know, that's like the hygienist question of the century. Did you floss? And even just that little reminder might be like, you know what? I don't have a lot to do. I'm going to floss for them today. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. They could not respond to you. Let's be real. But it could help influence this one person to be a little bit healthier. And that's what we're about, making people healthier.
I agree. And I think also this is where the world is going. If nothing opened our eyes right now to social media and virtual learning, this has, right? So again, when we think about, you know, as a speaker, I'm thinking about the virtual learning, but as a dental assistant, I really got to look at now everybody is online. And for those of you that are not up to speed and really have embraced this prior to this happening, you have no choice. And so now is really the time for you to look at being, you know, when you go back, what have I learned of this last couple of weeks that I can do better? And most importantly, change my whole mindset. Because there's so many practices that still don't even have computers in the ops and don't even, you know, not even looking at social media as an end, but they're the ones right now that are sitting online and watching. So we really have to look at getting back online with those areas and helping again the practice. That's what this is all about, is having the practice stay open and still overcome all of these obstacles that we're all faced with.
Agreed. Well, Shannon, I don't think we have any other questions. If you are watching, please drop some questions below. Me and Shannon will definitely still be here to answer any questions that you do have. Is there any last words that you have for our dental community and more specifically our dental assistants?
Yes, I think, again, if there's nothing that we can tell you more is take care of yourselves, you know, and to stay healthy. You know, one of the things is, you know, how can I do better? You know, eating better right now, because, oh my gosh, in dentistry, that's all we do is eat. You know, we say we don't even eat lunch, but somehow we do eat. And taking better care of your health. I think that's one of the things that I can say is, even this morning, having vegetables delivered. Now more than ever, you know, staying with your community and helping your community to survive. Banding together with other practices, I think, is another thing, because I see some practices bashing each other in some of these chat rooms, and this is not the time for that. You know, this is not, I always say, the Dan Fisher mentality. It is not the time for that. This is the time to lift each other up and to be there for each other. And everybody plays a role right now. You know, we can't do this without the office administrator, without the assistants, without the hygienist, without the doctor. But the closer your practice stays with each other, you're going to survive this, you know. But thinking of other resources at this point is where everybody has to look at those things, and everybody being safe, taking care of your family, taking care of yourself and your well-being, and bettering yourself, you know, because again, if I don't know about fluoride and I don't know about laser dentistry. I don't know about surgery. Now's the time for me, if I fell short in any of these areas, for me to spend this time investing in myself. And there's nobody that's going to do that but you. So when you go back, what's going to be different? And that's one of the things I told my team, what's going to be different with us? So we have to be looking at it. But most importantly, I love these things that you guys are doing every day. And I'm such a big fan of Ultradent. And I know that your reps, we don't want to forget them, right? They're the experts in so many things. And like right now, I mean, just reaching out to Steve, we were brainstorming last week, reaching out to Jeff. Hey, what can we do while I'm home? Give me some feedback. You know, so I say for those dentists and those team members and practices, get in touch with your reps, because you guys are talking to each other about how can you help your practices survive. Yep. So I need that input. I need that input for the reps. Now I need you more than ever to help me with ideas to keep my practice afloat. So I think that could be a great win-win. That's what I would encourage the team to do. Reach out to these reps to get their help.
And we're here for you. We want to help you. We're all a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. Absolutely. And this teamwork is going to help us open our offices again.
Well, before we close, I have to say I love your shirt. I love that. I'm a big fan of t-shirts. I had to show you mine. Mine is buckle. Yes. Got the distal going and the
stop it.
And on the back. This is my most popular shirt. We sell these in our store. I can't take the credit though for building it. A hygienist who works for me, her name is Natalia. She does hygiene 3 days a week, and her dream was to have her own store. So I said, hey, I got the store. I'll build the dream, but you're gonna make the shirts because Shannon ain't doing that. And so she has made some amazing, like flossing isn't flossing through your teeth or something like that. I mean, she comes up with some of the craziest stuff, and I'm like, oh, I love that. So I think we got to be supportive of our locals doing these types of things. So I love that hygienist shirt. That's cute.
Thank you. And I actually got this shirt from Next Level Practice, and they have one that's pretty awesome. It says ninja, and it's a picture of a ninja, and it means, no, I'm not just an assistant.
Oh,
because our dental assistants are ninjas sometimes. You guys are juggling all these things. You're suctioning your shield. You can't see anything, but you're like, I got this. Don't worry.
I love it. Well, that's why ours is the octopus. I have that here. It's a little octopus. That's our mascot because we always have to hold so many things. And, and so I love that. I think that's so cool.
Awesome. Well, it was so awesome talking to you.
It was great. Thank you.
If you love the content that we talked about, drop that orange heart. Orange for Shannon and for Ultradent. Other than that, we'll see you guys soon, and have the great rest of your Tuesday.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.